Hi guys, so welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Kriti Tiwari and today we will be continuing our series of watercolor basics beginner that we are doing. So in the last class we have learned all about tonal values and I said that I'll be giving you guys part 2 of this class, which is painting a monochromatic landscape. So in this class we're gonna learn all about painting a monochromatic landscape. Now what is a monochromatic landscape? So monochromatic landscape is a landscape that we'll be painting using only one single color. So now for this class exercise, you can opt to choose any color of your choice. It is not mandatory to use any art material that I'm using, and you can choose the color of your choice. So let's dive in further and paint our monochromatic landscape. Okay. So we have done this class previously, as I said, right? So depending upon these values only, we are going to paint a monochromatic landscape in watercolor. But then there are a lot of ways of painting monochromatic landscape in watercolor. So we'll just study a quick thumbnails as now to understand what we are going to create when it comes to monochromatic landscapes. So let's talk about the first landscape that you can do, right? So the first one can be a misty mountain, where basically you are creating a different mountain ranges. It's looking like more of a heartbeat rather than a mountain range, but yeah, you get the idea, right? Yeah, so you just create a different mountain ranges and then they vary in the tonal value. So lightest to dark, right? Because whatever is near to us, like if I am standing here, whatever is near to me, it would be clearly visible to me. So that's how we are creating. So this can be one of the artwork, or let's say that monochromatic meaning single color, right? So I am doing a single color, and then we make a gradient sky from top to bottom. So let's say that I take a blue shade, any shade of blue, right, from the darkest tonal value, right, to the lightest at the half. Okay, and then I go the opposite of that. So I go from light to dark again, right? So basically tonal value from here to here and the opposite of here to here, like you go from here to here, here to here. Okay, that would be one of the artwork you can create. So basically you're creating a gradient sky from top to bottom, and then same thing here, and then we just add a moon and then some reflections, and then voila, we are done. Okay, similarly you can create a dusk and dawn scene where you have a lot of foliages in the background which are light in shade. They kind of give you a blur effect, right? And then you draw one or two very prominent ones in the forefront, right? So these are a couple of examples, and there are more landscape that can be done in a monochromatic manner. Okay, so for this exercise I am choosing to make this one, Misty Mountains. Okay, so we'll learn about this using monochrome, which is single color. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. For this I will be using my indigo color, Persian blue color, indigo color, any shade. You can also use Payne's gray, violet, or any shade that you like to try. Okay, so let's go ahead and do our artwork. I'll be using a foam board to tape my artwork. I'll be taping that from all four sides so the paper is not moving and it is easier for us to do the landscape. For this one I'm using washi tape. You can also use a regular masking tape. Oops, it's all over. So let's see if I can stick it on this side. So taping our paper helps us in couple of things. So when we do very heavy washes in watercolor, your paper will start buckling up if we have not flattened our paper, if we have not prepared or prepped our paper in advance, right? It will start buckling up and then it would be difficult for us to hold and then do the painting. Also, it gives a very nice border around your artwork. So we'll start by wetting the paper and then just doing some random colors here and there to give it a misty or foggy kind of effect. Okay, and then I'm still using my same color to give it a misty foggy effect. Okay, so let's wet our paper completely. Now to give it a misty foggy effect, I'm using a lightest tonal value of the same color, right? So I'm using a Bohong watercolor paper for this exercise, and the brushes are Camlin mop brushes. For the colors, I'm using white nice color. You can use any brand material that you have. Just make sure that you have a watercolor paper and an artist grade paints. No other paper will take those kind of heavy washes, and then you will not get the effect that you are looking for. The paper in watercolor is of extremely importance. Okay, so now start. So I am using a very lightest tone of that color randomly here to give it that misty foggy kind of a effect. Okay, and then when this thing dries up, it's gonna be like way darker than we have already put in here. Okay, now once you do that, the paper is still like too wet, right? So we'll wait for this paper to dry up a bit. We don't want it to be completely dry, but we also don't want it to be this heavily wet, right? So we'll just wait for it to be like semi-dry, in the semi-dry state, where we can put our mountain ranges. So for example, let's see what I'm saying. So if I try to do a mountain here, right, it will start spreading. So if it is starting to spread from the bottom, it's still okay, but it should not go on the top, right? Okay, so my paper is dry and now we can start. So I'm still using my Persian blue, okay, and I am starting with a lightest version or lightest tonal value of this color. So we'll start making a mountain range from here. Okay, then I'm gonna wash my brush and then just try to soften the edge around the mountain that we have created. Okay, so I also added a bit of color, the same tonal value as I wanted, right? And this is we are talking about only using like single color, and softening the edge is very important here. We don't want any hard edges. Okay, okay, so you can do the same thing. Instead of mountain, you can paint maybe pine trees and then do this exercise, right? So there are a lot of ways of using it. Now I am adding more color to my mixture. Okay, and then let's do a mountain range from here. Okay, something like this, and then I'm gonna soften the bottom. Yeah, so my paper was wet and hence it is like running upwards, but I'll just try to control it when the paper is a bit dry. Okay, so I will not be doing anything now to correct it. Now this is a very staining pigment, so choose a pigment that is not as staining as this one. Just a recommendation. Choice is completely yours. Okay, so that is done. Now I am adding more color to the mixture, and I am doing a different range here. Okay, this is the range. And again washing my brush and then just softening the edges. Okay, so this is done, and now we will be adding a final layer at the bottom. Okay, and that would be our darkest value. So I'm adding more, so I'm taking a pure pigment of this color and I'm doing the range here. Okay, so this is the range, and I'm taking the very purest pigment, and then at the bottom I'm just gonna mix all it up. Okay, so this is how the Misty Mountains would look like. What I'll do is I'll quickly add a mountain range here. This part looks a bit empty and very light in shade, right? The lightest value of any color, lightest value of the color. Okay, so that's it. So, and if you think that the background color was not visible as such, right, so you can go ahead and add some color strokes on the top. If it is all vanished, you can do that. Okay, so yeah, this is it. Now just wait for it to dry up, and then you can do course correction, making these ranges a bit prominent. Okay. So the important part is always do a layer when the above layer is dried. Don't be impatient like me. Okay, yeah, sometimes watercolor will test your patience, but yeah, you have to get through that phase and eventually you will. Okay, so yeah, this looks okay. Now it's up to you. If you want to add some bursts to it, you can go ahead and add it. Okay, it's not mandatory. I will just take my pen. I also wanted to show you guys that it's not always required to add bursts using your paintbrush, but you can use your pen also to add that. So I'm just gonna add like couple of them here randomly, right? Not lot, 1, 2 here and there. So basically I had to re-record this whole class because last time when I went ahead and added bursts, I just added like way too many. Okay, so my paper is still wet and I will just correct it. Correct the mistake. I'll wait for it to dry, and in the same place I'll do another bird. Okay, so I just dried up my paper. It is still damp, but I'll just correct it and draw a bird there itself. Okay, I'll just draw a couple of birds along with the one that I have added, and I can't correct this one now, but yeah. So I can actually, but I don't want to. I'll just leave it like that. and we'll add some smaller ones here, one to here at a distance, and okay, that's it. So that's all about monochromatic landscape. I hope you have enjoyed the lesson. Please hit the subscribe button if you haven't, and I'm gonna see you in my next YouTube video.